AI. I tell people, like, I always remind people, and it's funny because AI always comes up in my conversation because something, and especially with the latest
Nikki,
Monet, yeah,
yeah, the girl,
charting,
the shark girl. Mm.
yeah. I've always the way I approach AI is I try to remind people about the Terminator. I'm like, we're there already. We're there already where we might not have the control we think we have, and but I also see that everyone is rushing to accept. Now, I have to admit, 19 Keys.
Mm.
I spoke to him, I think about 3, 4 years ago, and he's like, we have to stay on top of AI. And he tried to convince me. I'm not gonna say try to convince me, but try to convince that we as black people, because of where it's going. I disagreed only because I keep seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger coming after us or an iRobot. But I think in a way where with and everybody that isn't anybody over 30 is disappointed in Timberland because he was one of the innovators as far as hip hop producers. And maybe because he hasn't had any real hits when he had a string of hits. Maybe that's why he embraced whatever reason. I'm not going to take anything away from the reason why he embraced it, but in my opinion, the way he embraced it and tried to throw it at us was all wrong, and that's the reason why he got that that the feedback he got, and then to find out that another producer's beat was actually stolen using the same thing that he's promoting, and then hearing almost a year later that the AI artist with the woman and Gail King just had a
She said,
it
"But you
was
can't sing."
that was the funniest. That's as a matter of fact, that may have been the funniest thing I've heard the whole year. She's like, but you can't sing, and it deflated. You can see it in her face. It deflated. I can't remember. It
All right,
deflated.
so my answer to that is Roger from Zap couldn't sing it either.
And I think
Right?
I'm
And
gonna
he
count.
created an aesthetic with a voice box, which is an artificial tool to enhance the vocal. Right?
Let me count it. Let me count it. I don't mean to interrupt you, but there's a
No,
reason
go
why. Because
ahead,
no,
go ahead.
you'll understand why. When because
And,
people think that T Pain was the one that came out with autotune. I'm like, no, Roger. But
and Stevie Wonder even before then. But go ahead.
yeah, but the thing is, T Pain is an actual. He has a beautiful voice. It hurt me when I heard his real voice. I'm like, money. You have a better voice than literally 90% of the
Right, but
people.
we're talking about Roger. So this is the
So,
thing.
so I'm agreeing with you. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you in the
The tool, the
terminology.
tool, the tool. Um, we've been using AI.
Yeah,
When you're doing spell check, that's a form of AI.
GPS.
GPS is a form of AI. While I do feel uncomfortable with um the creation of this, I'm uncomfortable that the market receives this over that, and that we don't have a discerning market that can say, I want to hear real singing over something that's been artificially generated, right? um my issue is with the fans. The technology is the technology, and we have to learn it.
Yeah,
Otherwise we're going to be lost and left alone.
yeah.
The appetite for the fan has to be more developed and more refined. So I'm more concerned. It's not the artist's job to develop the appetite. It is is parents. It's the community. Like, I have to tell my daughter, she want to. We not listening to that. We listening to this, so she knows the difference. Um, when I'm not against people use AI for a lot of different ways. I think it's funny sometimes when I see
Some of the video
an
clips.
R&B version of, you know, a rap song or whatever. It's cute. I take issue when you're using someone's voice without permission.